pay back the money he robbed. Absolutely. So why shouldn't the white man pay for what he did? That's right. One day you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. 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 I'm in a hell of a hole. Was never expected to grow. Just obstacle set in the road. That a result of me selling my soul. The story I'm telling is cold, but yet it's what everyone knows. The white man's the devil is known. America was never our home. Only a place of captivity, safe facility, hating disfigure me. They claim that I'm lazy, be killing me. Maybe this slavery draining my energy. 400 years and counting. The trail of my tears is countless. The fact that I'm here is astounding, but I can't wait till this shit is surrounded. Ready to tangle my king and the angel, be ready to rap. Crack in the sky, nuclear missiles will make it official. I'm capturing every crack and surviving. Put them all in chains where they need to be. Slavery for me. And let the whole world see the rhythm in the cage and safer in the streets. Put the dog on a leash. Get resolved for the beast. 144, get the brutal show, we could all be at peace. As soon as the trumpets are sound, your kingdom be busting it down. The only way justice is found, the time for your judgment is now. You'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. Look, ain't no remorse in my blood cell. It won't be no compromise. Now it's time to feed the worms. Watch his body turn to flies. I clutch iron while you trust the lies. The next Glock I buy gon' be Gen 5. I get it customized. And sending shots off like farewell. Praying payback come back around like a carousel. Still remember YAHANNA's words ringing in my head like bells. Said you in his body, you fit the Lord, fuck the cartel. Triangle choke, apply pressure to the game like I did Vondale. Payback's a bitch in his dress. She a bombshell. Just dish serve cold. I just hope they make an oxtail. Glock fresh out the box, I swear it got that new car smell. Made myself a target in the world of mad shooters. There was design fire for our babies to pass through in the day of our king's reign. I'll be overzealous. They bought my jealous, I bought brand new parabellums. You'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. $22.99, dirty cop. He gonna hook it up. Come on, knock the wall. Hook me up. Go ahead. I'm going. Fuck around with you, blood. John Diamond made the bill logo. Crooked officer, can you get these fucking handcuffs off for us? They got a lot of innocent niggas doing time. Beware, cricket cop badge number 2299. Crooked officer, can you get these fucking handcuffs off for us? They got a lot of innocent niggas doing time. Beware, cricket cop badge number 2299. It's wicked as hell. Arresting a man for nothing, got him sitting in jail. Look down on us, call us niggas when they niggas themselves. Supposed to show them the way, instead they showed them a cell. Fuck nigga, how the fuck is you a man of the Lord? You pull up with white boys and you put niggas in the back of the car. But you wouldn't last a day in their yard with all them killers, them lions and them tigers and them bears and them gorillas. Tried to convince a nigga to snitch on his own brother. Beware the purple Israelite group, they undercover, so pussy ass nigga. Regretting that bitch, bitch. Tell him take off that badge and I'll bat him in his shit. Cricket officer, can you get these fucking handcuffs off for us? They got a lot of innocent niggas doing time. Be well, cricket cop badge number 2299. Cricket officer, can you get these fucking handcuffs off for us? They got a lot of innocent niggas doing time. Be well, cricket cop badge number 2299. False doctrine, a nigga that shot that tranny. The dick pic, the fake pictures on social media. You posing as bitches. The murder on John Morgan, how her body came up missing. That scheming nigga cannot stealing that for the bitch. The marching for the rich, but don't do nothing for the poor. The shit them niggas tried on the Kansas City boat. Them purple niggas tried that same bullshit before. Cap told them bitch Obama holding treatment like a hoe. The shot told them they lightweight, they packed up all they shit. Fuck wrong with you, boy, we men war around this bitch. Undercover ass, purple badge, and Easter ass bitch. We know cowards on the men prepared to die around this bitch. You heard? Cricket officer, can you get these fucking handcuffs off for us? They got a lot of innocent niggas doing time. Be well, cricket cop badge number 2299. Cricket officer, can you get these fucking handcuffs off for us? They got a lot of innocent niggas doing time. Be well, cricket cop badge number 2299.
You broke off and created something. God deserves that we stand with him and walk forward. I.S.U.P.K, be strong. We ain't weak. No cowards, bitch. Okay? That's how we ride.
Yeah, I never said that shit. Let me put this pistol in the car. Oh, man. Hilarious. All right.
From Westworld. Let's get it. Don't be sure, tell them make sure. If not, we gon' make war. Clips say it hold 20, but I think it could take more. Grab a stick, fire on your camp, we gon' make s'mores. I ain't satisfied with my spot, then I'ma take yours. No matter how many roadblocks in my way, I'ma break forward. This path I'm on is so damn narrow, I just stay forward. Put them on my plate, I'm never full, I just ate more. Put them on my plate, I'm never full, give me 8 more. Nigga, I don't sugarcoat shit, bitch, I'm straightforward. Don't give a fuck if they don't let me in, I just break doors. Ballin' so hard, they asking what team that I play for. Skimmer who? They ain't stop making guns when they made yours. Sick with it, feeling like I woke up with stage 4. Gang want the peace loose, but they opened up the cage for. Endure the pain, been through hard times is what I'm made for. Pay my dues, never left a wage, I just rage war. Many chains and gold teeth, it's the blood of a slave. Sit on the throne with a gold crown from the blood of a slave. This is our world. Got it from the mud to the grave, become a thing in the past, don't be a story in my page.
Stood against all enemies. In high school, you was the man that's lost memory shit. Lost energy, never lost my energy. Never lose control, never losing, dog. I plan to keep you lose your mind where I'm from. I ain't talking from what you see. I never lost soul, losing time, wasting steady pacing. You off track, I'm on that. You pray to God, hoping He can save you. But the power about war, and that's a different angle. This another lost cause, and I'm just adding to the list. They not seeing me for that reason. Got a flash on the grip, nigga, big priest.
Oh, yeah. That's good. Eating healthy. Let's get it. Let's get it. Check, 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 check. You niggas know the motto. Well, Westworld. Yeah, you niggas know the motto.
Blood of a slave, sit on a throne with a gold crown from the blood of a slave. This is our world. Got it from the mud to the grave, become a thing in the past, don't be a story in my page.
Came on boats and then chains, so when I get rich, I'ma grab a boat and 10 chains with 12 ribs from each tribe. And each rib gonna have at least 3 kids, yeah, I'ma have a deep squad. Been rapping since knee high, now a nigga shack size. Spit that holy fire, when you hear it, you get baptized. One Westworld, yeah, you niggas know the logo. And I'ma bust it down so the haters see the glow glow. Let's have a feast, let's shine on our enemies, right in their face. Let's blind all our enemies, cause now we have, but we come from half, not Throw that cash on the ground, my nigga, let's cast
Yes,
lots.
yes,
I started from
they
the
come.
bottom, birthed out of mud, raised
Huh?
by gangsters, turned out a thug. I ain't give a fuck. Burnt out I was from hitting licks.
We'll go
and I
into
was selling nicks in the
worship of
truck.
God.
Chains and
Talk
gold
about that
teeth.
real
It's the
quick.
blood of a slave. Sit on a throne with a gold crown from the blood of a slave. This is our world. Got it from
Man,
the
that's a
mud
lot
to
of
the
wooden
grave.
notes.
Become a thing in the past. Don't be a story in my page.
Yeah. Yeah, you ready? We ready to rock and roll. Let's go ahead and get it. Just do quick, like Proverbs 3. Yeah, stop the show. Check, check, check. Yeah, Most High in Christ, clap it up. Shalom, Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shah Barakatah. To all my brothers, Yahweh Shamar, Alatah B'Hashem Yahweh Shah. To all my beautiful sisters, I'm preaching offers of 1,000 Bon Kayel coming out of Fayetteville, North Carolina. And this is the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Coming out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under the operational direction of Commanding General YAHANNA, all right? And what we teach in the Israelite school, because this is a school, you will learn something. This is not a church. Do not confuse us with the Christian church or the Muslim mosque or some Buddhist temple somewhere. We are a school, and in school, you're supposed to learn, all right? And here, tonight is the Monday night history class. So we're going into the history. We're going into the history of our nation, the history of, our ancestors, our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, specifically Jacob, all right? We're going to talk about some things that made them special in the sight of the Lord. And we're also going to talk about some things that keep our people, subjugated to, bondage, being on the bottom, serving the other nations, serving heathens. We are in captivity still. I know the Emancipation Proclamation was signed in 1863? Well, we are not that far removed from the plantation. Psychologically, a lot of us are still stuck on the plantation. A lot of us still have that slave mentality. A lot of us still eat like slaves. I seen a brother eating some raccoon that he had stewed. I mean, he wasted them carrots and them onions and those potatoes, man, and that rice. And it didn't look appetizing at all. It looked absolutely disgusting. It almost looked like roadkill. Most High in Christ. I thought roadkill as soon as I saw it. We're not supposed to be living like that, man. If you are so-called Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian, understand this. You are God's chosen people. Wherever you are on the face of the earth, if your father was a so-called Negro, a so-called Latino, or a so-called Native Indian, okay, North American Indians, you would be deemed the descendants of the lost 12 tribes of the nation of Israel, okay? We are one family, one blood-related family. If you're Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian, we're not stuck on colorism. I don't care if you can be as light as this piece of paper here or as dark as these burnt incense, these coals that are in this censer here. Shalom Shikatah. What's going on, Ottawa? I can't call it, sir. You want it? Most High in Christ. Got Officer 5,000 just stepped in the building. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, we're not stuck on colorism. Oh, I don't see it now. I like that. That hoodie there. That's our Kahan. Most High in Christ. Most High in Christ. He ain't touching Kawhi though. He getting there. He on his way. He on his way. I like what he did there. I like what he did there. Most High in Christ. Man, that's how I know we're royalty, man. You got brothers that come in here and put their hand to the plow doing the work. Anything we put our hands to, we make it look glorious, man. Anything the Bible calls us or describes us as being the salt of the earth. And there's no getting around it. There's no mistaking that. If you look at society, you look at the world, you look at, just anything, entertainment, athletics, you think about music, art, academia, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, we lead the charge, man. We set a precedent within the earth. We set the standard. We set the tone, If we're not doing it, it's not cool. So just imagine all the evil and wicked, vile things that the oppressor promotes and uses us to be the face of. Imagine if we knew who we were as far as being God's chosen people. Imagine that. Imagine if we knew that the Most High Power chose us above any other nation of people. Imagine that. How would we move in the earth? We wouldn't be subscribing to the things that keep us separated, the things that keep us on the bottom, the things that keep us cursed, the things that keep us from the love and the protection of the Most High Power. We would absolutely be that royal nation. We would be that. This is why it's so important for you to get into the Israelite School Universal Practical Knowledge, because in here we teach the true culture of God, which was given to one people, to the Israelites. The culture of the Most High Power was given to the Israelites as they marched out of Egypt with Moses. Not the whole world, not the whole earth, not every nation, all right? You got to understand, if you're Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian, we are the ancestors of those people that walked through the Red Sea, man. We are, all right? And we should start to carry ourselves as such. We should carry ourselves as the royalty that the Most High expects us to be, all right? Give me Zephaniah 2:1. Salakia, Proverbs 3:31. Proverbs 3:31. Let's do that one. We're going to get into some Thanksgiving history, the ancient pagan origins of the celebration known as Thanksgiving. See, a lot of y'all didn't think that Thanksgiving had any type of religious associations or religious origins, but it absolutely does. Okay, this is not a benevolent feast day as it's taught in the Christian church. When you think about all the holidays that Esau celebrates, this has got to be one of the most bloodiest, disgusting, satanic holidays you could actually worship, you could actually participate in. Worse than Halloween, much worse than Halloween. Every Christian believes Halloween is the worst. They talk about Samhain or All Hallows Eve. It ain't got nothing on Thanksgiving. Right. And the actual bloody history of Thanksgiving, we're going to talk about some of those things tonight. All right. So if you got your Bible at home, we're not reading out of the NIT or the NLT or the ESV. We're not reading out of any of those translations. You can get you a KJV 1611, or you get you a regular King James Version Bible. All right. Don't get any of them off the cuff study Bibles that's going to supposedly help you understand the King's English. It's not helping you at all. You got it, brother?
I got some, before I get Proverbs 3:31, do a quick roll call. Shout out to Trooper Warrior all in the building.
Most High in Christ.
Big shout out to that Trooper Officer 500 Quadam in the building.
Damn right. My man, 100 grand.
Brother Reggie in the building. What up, Reggie?
Oh, shout out to young man Reggie.
Yeah, man. What's up, Reggie? What it do, brother? Sister Kalaya Paz in the building. You understand? And
shout out Sister Kalaya Paz.
Oh yeah, Sister Kalaya Paz in the building. And Trooper Hawan, man. Y'all need a car?
Oh, word.
Holla at Trooper Hawan, man. He out there got the trap bunking with them cars, man.
Oh, Most High in Christ.
Doing his damn thing. Shout out to that brother, man.
Damn right.
The officer test might be around the corner. I don't know, Hawan. What's up, man? I ain't seen you in a minute. What's up, brother?
Uh-oh.
Oh, and shout out to young man Jason, man, Mr. Orchard Beach.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Hey, y'all, everybody, if you could go follow you know what I'm saying, Wavy 80s channel, Mr. Orchard Beach on YouTube, man.
Yeah, you know got my man in the building.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Checking in from the Bronx, you know what I mean?
Yeah, damn right. Damn right. Give yourselves a hand for being in class tonight.
He not uptown, though. He down the hill.
He what? He down the hill? Okay. So what's that scripture, brother?
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 31.
Right? The water, sir.
Okay.
That joint is like.
Proverbs 3 and 31.
Right.
Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways.
Most High in Christ. The brother read out of the book of Proverbs, okay? You think these are books that were written by Solomon, the son of King David, man, you know? And Solomon, the significant thing about Solomon is that he was wise. He prayed for wisdom. He didn't pray for riches like how we pray and how our moms be praying for riches. He prayed for wisdom to make the correct decisions, man. It was about rationale with Solomon, all right? And the Most High blessed him with that wisdom, okay, to decipher, the truth from a lie, all right? And Solomon basically says that we shouldn't envy the oppressor. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, we have a tendency to become envious or jealous of our oppressors for many different reasons. For one, because we know that we're God's chosen, but we don't know that, okay? You want to wear the gold like royalty. I mean, we dress like royalty. You got to have the finest of everything. We want to drive the nicest of cars, live in the best homes, eat the best of foods. We are in spirit God's chosen, but we don't embody the truth about who we are because of our circumstances. We envy our oppressor. We look to our oppressor and his culture as being the end, albeit. Our oppressor doesn't set any standard, but he does when he withholds resources. And he tells you, if you want to feed your family, you got to get out here and talk about how your booty hole is brown. If you want to feed your family, if you want to have a career, you have to abort your baby. If you want to you want to buy your mama a house, you better learn how to dribble this basketball. You better learn how to catch this football. These are the things that the oppressor does that make us envious of him and the things that he has. But you got to understand, behind every great fortune is a great crime, all right? And the oppressor has raped, robbed, and murdered for the sake of everything that he owns. That is his MO or his modus operandi across the earth. And not just Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. We're not the only people to realize and recognize how violent and wicked and evil the oppressor is. The other nations are beginning to see that. Right. That, what is it, the son of perdition? That man of sin is being revealed. You got people scratching their head wondering why America is validating what's happening over in the Middle East. We co-sign and we're standing with Israel or the Israelis. Because the true Israelites are Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, all right? But people are starting to see, people are starting to realize that the things that we talk about in this school are actually true. And you think I'm delusional because I say, stop eating pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster. Or I tell you to stop celebrating these holidays because they're wicked and evil and they're all steeped in paganism. And they all celebrate or the worship of other gods, which we're going to find out in just a few moments. We have to throw the oppressor's culture in the garbage. We got to get our brains washed free from the filth that we've been taught since being juveniles, man. All right. My brother said to envy thou not the oppressor and what?
Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways.
That's right, man. You have a choice. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, like I said, we're not in physical bondage unless you're incarcerated, okay? But we're not in physical chains. We can make a choice. You can make a decision to serve the empire and serve the oppressor or to serve the most high power. You can come into the I.S.U.P.K. and learn about your history, learn about your culture, learn how to keep the Sabbath, learn how to keep the feast days and the holy days, learn your true language, learn what to eat, what not to eat, who to sleep with, who not to sleep with. You can learn all these things. Right. Okay, you have the choice. The Most High Power is merciful enough to give us the opportunity to be able to make that choice, to make that decision. All right. Choose none of the ways of the oppressor. All right. And one of the chief ways of the oppressor that we have chosen for years and years and years and years has been Thanksgiving. We have chosen Thanksgiving as if it is not the puffed up, prideful celebration of the so-called white man conquering, slaughtering, unaliving, taking indecent liberties with the native Indians, stealing everything from their land to the resources of the native Indians, those that were indigenous to North, Central, South America, and the Caribbean islands, man. All right? We have chosen all of the ways of the oppressor. In the I.S.U.P.K, we are the other way. We are showing you that there is another way. All right? So drop that, brother. Let's go to Amos. Give me Amos 3:1. See, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians got to understand this as well. Because we were chosen by the Most High Power, because there's an expectation, a divine spiritual expectation for us to be the light of the world, for us to be that chosen, set apart nation of people. There's consequences for us not being obedient. There's consequences for us choosing the ways of the oppressor. All right? And Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are far too familiar with the consequences, you know, of the judgments that go against us. When you hear that word judgment, it means punishment, okay? More often than not. We're so stiff-necked, we never receive a reward from judgment. We're always on the receiving end of a punishment, all right? You got that Amos 3:1?
Khan, this is the book of Amos, chapter 3 and verse 1.
Right.
Hear this word that the Most High have spoken against you, O children of Israel.
Hear this word. Listen up. If you Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian, Amos is talking to you right now. He's asking you to hear the word that the Most High Power has spoken against us. All right? Not the oppressor. We're talking about the living God, okay? The Most High Power, whose name is Yahweh. You don't hear that when you go to church. I hear Yehovah, Yeshiva, Yeshiva, Yeshua. I hear all this crap. This is how I know you're not learning anything in there, because one of the first things we learn about us being Hebrew Israelites is the fact that we have our own tongue. We have our own language. You don't even know the name of God. You ask any Christian, ask your pastor, well, pastor, what's the name of God? He's going to give you 10,000 different names. Jehovah, Jireh, and Jesus. In the church, they teach you that Jesus is God. Well, Jesus separated himself from that deity, okay? When it comes down to him not being God, he said there is none good but the Father which is in heaven, in the book of Matthew. So to let you know, right then and there, Jesus can't be God. But he is the most perfect example for man to live. He kept God's law, statutes, and commandments. He was obedient. So he was the reflection of the Most High on earth for man, the living, breathing, walking personification of the Most High through Christ, through Yahawashi. All right? Hear this what?
Hear this word, O Israel, against the whole family, which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying.
So we are the children of Israel. We are the living, breathing descendants of the children of Israel. Okay, we talked about them earlier that walked out of Egypt when Moses parted the Red Sea. We walked through on dry land. All right, following the pillar of fire, coming from the cloud. You know, all of the miracles that we witnessed and we bore witness to coming up out of Egypt, coming up out of the house of bondage, all right? Up until this point, right? The Most High Power says what through Amos?
Hear this word that the Most High has spoken against you, O children of Israel,
Right.
against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Egypt,
We were a mixed
saying,
multitude. We had blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, all of the 12 tribes. Okay, keep reading.
saying, you only have I known.
No, everyone.
You only have I known.
No, just the strong of Israel.
You only have I known.
Only blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians have been known by the Most High Power. Meaning, we are what the Most High Power identifies with respect to humanity. Okay, and He created a lot of different variation when it comes down to the human race. He's the one that set the differences between the nations. Okay, He's the one that put the separation between Moab and Ammon. He's the one that separated Esau or the Edomites from Jacob. The Most High Power did that. Okay, we're not the ones creating division. These divisions were already set in order by the Most High Power. All right. You only have I what?
You only have I known of all the families of the earth.
That's right.
Therefore, I will punish you for all your iniquities.
So we get punished because the Most High knows us. We get punished for all of our iniquities. When you think of that word or you see that word iniquity, it's just sin. It just equates to sin. And what you have to understand about sin is that sin is transgression of the law. All right. You're breaking the law. You're in violation of the standard that the Most High Power set over us. The way that we're supposed to live our lives, we can't be in violation of that. We can't be contrary to those laws. All right. Because that is sin. That is iniquity. Us celebrating the oppressor's holidays is sin. All right. All right. So drop that. Give me Hosea 4 and 6. The book of Hosea, chapter 4, verse 6. You know, we're gonna hit a few scriptures real quick, just so we can get some backdrop information about who we are and what's happened to us. Yeah. Keep me on the time. Yeah.
Hosea chapter 4 and verse what you say, 6?
4 and 6.
4 and 6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge.
Man, my people, possessive pronoun, that my. We're rejected by everyone. We're rejected by America. We're rejected by the Africans. We're rejected by white society. We're rejected by the East Indians. We're rejected by the Israelis. I watched a video where they talked about how, you know, that's one of the worst places you can visit if you are a so-called Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian, because of the prejudicial bias, the racism that you'll endure. As soon as you touch down in the so-called Holy Land, our promised land, this is how I know that those curses are real. Because it was prophesied that we wouldn't see that land again until that sky cracks, all right? Until Christ returns, all right? My people, the Most High's people, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are what?
Are destroyed for lack of knowledge.
Yeah, we get destroyed because of ignorance, lack of knowledge, being devoid of wisdom and understanding.
Right.
We don't understand that eating pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster is the reason why you got edema in your lower extremities. It's the reason why they're going to cut your pinky toe off. The reason why you have nerve pain is because of the things that you eating. And the Bible forbid us from, you know, eating certain foods. You don't you can't understand why you got baby mama drama, but you sleeping with heathens. You don't know you almost lying to getting lynched because you got a thing for Becky, and you about to go down to a sundown town because you're gonna go meet your in-laws. You'll never be heard from again. That movie Get Out, why was it so popular? That movie Get Out was popular because that's true, that's real. If you Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, there's a certain way that we're supposed to live on the earth, man. All right? And we get destroyed because we don't know that certain way. And who's responsible for misleading us, for misguiding us, for teaching us false ways? Who?
Our religious leaders,
The
our politicians,
Yeah.
our pastors.
Right. You send your kids to school to learn about, turkeys and Santa Claus and reindeer and leprechauns and all manner of foolishness.
Triple One said, "You gotta stay away from Becky."
You better stay away from Becky.
Where he living out there, he better stay away from Becky.
Yeah, his sister's in Fayetteville. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, it's wild out there. Ain't nothing out there. I mean, there is some Issacharites out there, from what I hear. But yeah, we got to stay away from Becky. You're right, off Trooper Hawan. The fraudulent slip there. We get destroyed because we don't know, because our religious leaders, our leadership, they're not teaching us the things that are going to be beneficial to us thriving and surviving in this place. We've been misinformed. We believe that we are the same. We're not the same. We're better. Go ahead, Ottawa.
Salaki, I was about to say the brother talking about stay away from Becky. I equate that to like we
Mm-hmm.
turkey neck, right?
There you go.
You put that smoked turkey neck in your collard greens or whatever, right?
Right.
It's rare you ever eat the smoked turkey neck by itself. That's us. See, the oppressor, they just bland food. Since we are the salt of the earth, they're always trying to pick us up to put us along with them to get them flavor. But just like any other thing that you use for flavor, once you're done with the flavor, guess what you do? You pour it out.
Right.
And that's what they do. They consume us with all our gifts, all our talents, all our efforts, everything that we had to offer. And as soon as they're done with us, guess what they do? They pour us out, man. You're not allowed to hang around the oppressor until the so-called holidays come up. Other than that, you don't get invited. You don't get invited to grandmother's retirement party because she's handing out gifts to say, who's going to get the remainder of the funds. You get invited to bring a dish.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
No, you're right. You're right. You're absolutely right, sir. We got to recognize, the folly. Look at generations before us and what happened. Everybody got a story. Especially if you're a so-called Negro, everybody got a story of where some Judite, some Jake went and started dealing with Becky, and it destroyed his entire life. Whether he was a all-star athlete, and he decided to go, we have a story here in Fayetteville, with respect to, remember, what's my man's name? The brother that drowned in the swimming pool, dealing with Becky. Oh, yeah. Yeah, which is, it is what it is. If now just imagine if he was dealing with our sister, 9 times out of 10, she wouldn't have had a swimming pool in her backyard. Right. Anyhow. Yeah, right. You know what I'm saying? It's a sad thing. It's a sad thing what has happened to our ancestors, because we don't got a pastor telling us, no, you can't do that. Martin Luther King's dream was for you to be able to sleep with whomever you want to sleep with, to pursue your happiness, but that's not what the Most High Power wants for you, black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man, or woman. All right, we gotta stop it with the nonsense. All right, keep reading that. Yeah, we're in Hosea.
Hosea chapter 4 verse 6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge.
Right.
Because thou hast rejected knowledge.
So when we talk about Thanksgiving, we talk about Christmas, we talk about Halloween, and how we're not supposed to celebrate these things. Our people get mad at us. They reject it. They say we're delusional. We're full of what. And I don't even understand why. What? It's like somebody telling you to stop smoking. The Surgeon General warns you on the box of cigarettes. Your doctor warns you, telling you you got COPD, you got CHF, you need to stop. And you just reject it. You reject the knowledge. You reject, you know, you reject the wisdom that's coming from these different places, and you get destroyed because of it. All right. It says, because thou hast rejected knowledge.
Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee.
The Most High Power going to reject you. He's going to reject you when you reject what the prophets are telling you, what the priests are telling you. Where the hell do you think we getting this stuff from? You think we just making it up? You know, we just had an epiphany one day, you know. No, we getting this from the Bible, man. We getting this from the prophets of old. We getting this from Yahweh Shamashiach, who you call Jesus Christ. You are not a follower of Christ if you are celebrating any of the oppressor's holidays. Keep reading.
I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me, seeing thou hast forgotten the law of the Most High. I also forget thy children.
That's right, man. You think about the so-called pastors, who was it, John Gray and Eddie. Well, we see what happened with Eddie Long, Creflo Dollar, T.D. Jakes. You know, there ain't no priest to the Most High. Mike Todd, he tell you, he's spitting a brother's face. He let you know exactly who he is. Somebody spit in your face? Come on, man. What are we doing? What are we doing? Anyhow, you know, the Christian church has forgotten the laws of the Most High Power. They don't want to hear you talk about, no, you can't eat no pork. When they done invested all that money in honey baked ham, they eating chitlins and all manner of evil and wickedness, the abominable, in the fellowship hall on Sunday. And it's like, yeah, that whole thing with chitlins is, I know you are a slave. Good.
So like, I just want to stand by. I want to go to Food Line or Carly C's with my cart and my camera. Just stand by the freezer and just see who comes to get chitlins. I don't think white people eat chitlins. I think that's solely a Negroid thing.
Oh yeah, it
because,
is.
I mean, maybe a couple dirty foot Jed Clampett ones that live out there like sticks might eat it, but actually purchasing that big Neapolitan ice cream bucket of chitlins, I think that's Negroes doing that. Because I mean, I just can't understand the purchase of that thing when everything in the store and the Most High God has given us everything lawful. You cannot let go of a chitlin. That was a derogatory thing they did to us anyway. You holding on to that?
Right.
I see why the Most High God wants to kill you, unalive you.
No, you're right.
I see why. It's almost disgusting and disturbing. I wouldn't let my child even play or touch a chitlin without or even a pig intestine if it was a right there.
Right.
Let alone me clean it, devein it, and fry it and dip it. Who does that, bro? That's satanic as hell to eat a chitlin.
You're right. The so-called oppressor does not do it. They don't do it. It's crazy. When I was working in long-term care, I took care of a woman that owned a lot of property in the Massey Hill area of Fayetteville, but she liked brothers. And she would talk about how she would have to prepare chitlins for, you know, one of the brothers that she was courting at one point in time in her life. And she talked about how bad it stunk. And she said it didn't matter how much she would run that water hose through them chitlins and then take it one end and then just squeeze it all the way to the end. And she would be very, very descriptive with the sounds of, very descriptive about, her experience trying to clean them innards. It wasn't like she was raised on them. She was doing that because a brother wanted them, because he was destroyed. And I said, this is wild. This is wild. This is how I know that we're the salt of the earth. We are the light of the world. If that brother, didn't have a taste for the chitlins, she would have never had that experience. I would have never had to lose my appetite listening to her talk about cleaning some damn chitlins on the floor, But anyhow, we get rejected by the Most High Power when, we reject the knowledge that he's given us. He's laid it out for us flat in this Bible. We always talk, Officer Zion always talks about this Bible being our playbook. This is the paradigm to life. People always say the Bible stands for the basic instructions before leaving earth. but nobody practically applies this to your life. This is the reason why Cam Newton is without a damn job. He didn't want to learn the damn playbook. You got the playbook, run the play, okay? Anyhow, drop that. Let's get into this. Some of these stories about Thanksgiving. We're going to talk about what Thanksgiving is, and we want to talk about some of the pagan origins of Thanksgiving before we get into the actual brutality of Thanksgiving and what happened to the Native Indian. You know, we can't afford to no longer be separated or at odds with one another if we Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian. We got to bury the hatchet as the Native Indians once did. We have to stop, beefing over the fact that, there's differences between us. We are more similar. We have a lot more similarities between us than we do differences. When you think about our poverty, us living in abject poverty, whether we live in the ghetto, the projects, the barrio, the favelas, the res, our suffering is so similar. Us not having the resources that we need to sustain ourselves, to sustain our children. I drive by trailer parks on my way to my slavery every day, and it just breaks my heart to just think about, the brothers and sisters that have to live in some of these spaces. It breaks my heart because we shouldn't be living that way if we Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian. I know the trailer parks I drive by, maybe you live in a nice trailer park. Right. I don't know, and I'm not being condescending or pretentious because I feel like, our suffering is the same. I don't have a pot to piss in, nor one to throw it out of. I don't, I'm not better than you, all right? But what I have done is made decisions that I believe the Most High Power acknowledges, okay? And it's all contingent to being obedient, to keeping God's law, statutes, and commandments. Who knows? I could lose it all tomorrow. I could lose whatever it is that I have, all of it tomorrow. But I still have my faith in the Most High, all right? And we have to establish a real belief, not that fake, vain nonsense that we've learned in the Christian church. That ain't helped us. It hasn't helped us, and it hasn't helped project us into the next phase with respect to progress. It's like we got all these churches, and nothing is changing in our communities. If anything, the conditions in our communities are getting worse. They're getting absolutely worse. Let's pull up this first article. Matter of fact, that's a video. It's a video all the way over to the left. Left. Right there. No. The next one. No. Back to the left. Back to the left.
Oh, sorry.
No. The next one. Yeah, there you go. All right. Now, this is for educational use only, all right? I'm going to show you this video. It's a short video. It's really, really interesting. We're going to pause throughout the video and talk about some of the things that this devil is going to basically explain about the pagan origins of Thanksgiving. And some of this stuff kind of blew my mind because I didn't know this. I always knew that it was like, the so-called oppressor, glorying over him conquering the Native Indian, over him slaughtering 77 million Native Indians, over the 300 and something odd wars, the Indian Wars, man, 300 and something odd years, him at odds with the so-called Native Indian. See this whole benevolent coming together between the Pilgrims or the Puritans and the Native Indians is a lie. It's an absolute lie. We've been at war. We've been beefing with the ops since they landed on Plymouth Rock. Since they came to Jamestown and tried to establish themselves. We've been at war with the oppressor, all right? You don't even have to have me up there. You can just take me off completely. Sure. Yeah. There you go. And then, just over one. There you go, right there.
It's almost time for Thanksgiving, one of my personal favorite holidays. We're all familiar with the classic story of Native Americans dining with pilgrims, but our modern Thanksgiving has deeper pagan roots than you might be aware of. So let's dig into the history of this holiday and reveal some surprising pagan elements.
Right. All right, press pause real quick.
In America,
Look.
it's believed that the first Thanksgiving took place in 1621.
All right. So this devil says this is one of her favorite holidays. She's talking about how. Okay, Most High Christ. All right, no sweat. You know, due to censorship, you know, whenever you start speaking the truth, somebody always got to say something. You know, don't worry. This truth is going to come out whether they censor this video or not. I don't give a damn. I could care less, honestly. I just know that this truth is coming out, and the brothers in this school have been doing the work, and we're going to continue to do the work. Whether they censor us on the internet, we'll get back out on the street corners and do what we've been doing, all right? Anyhow, she's talking about this is one of her favorite holidays, you know? She's overlooking the fact that the so-called Native Indian, you know, were unalived in droves. You want to talk about the term genocide, or we can even talk about Holocaust. That term absolutely applies to us. 6 million, 77 million. I mean, what's more of a tremendous loss of life? 99 million when it comes down to the so-called Negro. Anyhow, you can keep playing the video. Salakia.
But this is not the first time people gathered to give thanks for the autumn harvest. In fact, people have been celebrating the autumn harvest for millennia, and our Thanksgiving is just a modern incarnation of these ancient celebrations of autumn abundance. Now, most of our holidays, like Christmas and Easter, are a combination of both pagan and Christian traditions. Thanksgiving, on the other hand, doesn't have as much.
Yeah, a combination. So we talk about the joining or the intertwining of that which is sacred and that which is not sacred, that which is holy and that which is not holy. This is the oppressor. This is what he does because he doesn't have a culture. The Most High Power does not know him. He rejected the culture of the Most High. He rejected, you know, the truth about these law, statutes, and commandments. And he chose to create his own ideology, his own gods, his own idols, his own belief systems. All right. If you Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, you can't afford to do that. We are contractually bound to be obedient through Abraham, through Isaac, through Jacob. All right. The other nations, who gives a damn what they do? We can no longer be caught up on what the hell they got going on. We got our own family business, our own family issues that we must address, all right? And it begins with us separating ourselves from all this crap. All right, keep playing the video.
Much of a Christian influence. While Thanksgiving is not tied to any one specific religion, its traditions are quite similar to a number of ancient pagan harvest celebrations. For example, in ancient Rome,
Thanksgiving is not a Christian, you know, celebration, but it's tied to some very ancient pagan traditions, very ancient pagan harvest celebrations. All right, keep playing.
Celebrated the holiday of Seralia, which honored.
So when for you big head, thick neck Negroes out there that go to the Bible and say all things being received for Thanksgiving, they letting you know right now, this woman is letting you know that verse is not what this is talking about. Thanksgiving is not what that verse is talking about.
Right.
You understand? Even the devils know. You know, even her subtlety, you think she would be able to change it up. But you know, that's a sense of pride that they have in the things that we buy into that have nothing to do with us serving our power.
Right.
So like,
no, damn right. You're right, Adawan. You're absolutely right. Got nothing to do with us serving our power, that's man. Right. You know, The Most High requires us to honor him, to worship him in spirit and in truth. All right. We cannot be spiritually, attached to this wickedness. We just can't be. The things that we do have to have meaning. Everything that you celebrate, everything, even the words that you speak, you're going to be held accountable for the words that you say. So why don't you think that you're going to be held accountable for your actions, for your deeds? It's all ritualistic. All of it. All of the oppressors' holidays, they are very ancient, satanic, occultic, pagan rituals. That's what they are. And they're against the God of the Bible. They're against the Most High power. All right? And look at this idol. I don't know who the hell this is. Press play.
The harvest goddess of grain, Ceres. Now, there are about 100 different harvest gods and goddesses from Greek and Roman culture, so it's pretty clear that celebrating the harvest was a key feature of their spiritual beliefs. Harvest celebrations were also vitally important during Celtic and Anglo-Saxon pagan times. In Britain, these traditions...
They didn't mention the Israelites. They mentioned the Romans. They mentioned the Greeks. They mentioned the Celtics, the Celts. They mentioned, well, she's going to get into the Vikings, or the Nordic peoples. All these people these are heathen nations that we're speaking of right now. These aren't the nations that are spoken about in this Bible that the Most High Power chose, that the Most High Power knows. These are heathens. These are godless nations, all right, that are being spoken of right now. Press play. Salakia.
Traditions evolved into a holiday called Harvest Home. Historically, the date of Harvest Home differed each year as it was celebrated when all of the autumn crops were finally harvested. The final cartload of food was paraded through the town and a big harvest supper was celebrated among the villagers. Apparently, these harvest suppers started to get a bit out of hand, and in 1867, they were described as unrestrained riot and excess. In addition to Harvest Home, a separate religious holiday called the Days of Thanksgivings was practiced in the Church of England, in which people set aside one religious day of their choosing to give thanks to God. So we get the name Thanksgiving from this Christian tradition, while the feasting we associate with Thanksgiving largely derives from the Harvest Home celebrations. Luckily for us Americans, our harvest Thanksgiving celebrations were never commandeered by the church, and as such, they remain pretty pagan to this day. Here in America, a lot of our imagery around Thanksgiving shows a shared meal between the Pilgrims and the Native Americans. It could definitely be said that this rosy view of our first Thanksgiving meal together is largely misleading and helps to obscure the many atrocities that the colonists committed upon the Native Americans.
Right.
The Native Americans, like the ancient pagan peoples of Europe, understood the importance of honoring and respecting the harvest. And
so when we talk about the atrocities that befell the Native Indians, just based off of their association with the early colonists, okay? Some of the things that come to mind would be, the fact that the so-called oppressor brought diseases with him, diseases that our people never knew. Our people were never supposed to know about, smallpox. Our people were never supposed to know about, literally the flu. You think about monkeypox or even COVID. Like COVID came about, Salakia, the pandemic came about because of us, our association with the other nations, okay? This specifically Moab and Ammon, okay? Those wet markets of Moab. As Donald Trump would say, China. The China virus is what Donald Trump says. Right. Your former commander-in-chief, all right? Those are his words, not mine, okay? But because of our association being close to these other nations, we got punished. The so-called Native Indian was cursed via viruses, via disease, just by being close to these colonists, all right? This is how I know that we are supposed to be separate or set apart. The Bible calls us holy. That's all that word means. It just means separate, okay? All right, keep playing. Salakia. No, Most High Christ.
And during the first American Thanksgiving that took place in 1621, the Native Americans paused to give thanks to the many spirits and deities that aided in the bountiful harvest.
Press pause. Good night. And she's bringing out a lot of information, which is a good thing, you know. But she acknowledged the fact that the so-called Native Indians, they acknowledged different spirits, and that's something that we were strictly forbidden. You know, we were forbade to not do that. When it comes down to divination, or when it comes down to us acknowledging other gods, we were never supposed to do that. So this is where the Native Indian went wrong, okay? First of all, them being associated with the so-called oppressor, and even before that, with them wanting to worship the earth, wanting to worship animals, you know, turning these things into gods, giving deity to beasts of the field, and of the water, of the streams. You can't put your entire faith, you can't put any faith in any of those things. You have to put all your faith in the Most High, who created all those things, who gave you access to all those things. You can't believe in Mother Earth. All right, what the hell is that? Where does the Bible talk about that? All right, keep playing. Yeah, we're not signed in, so somebody got to pay the bills.
What was the process of actually?
There are 3 key symbols that are common to Thanksgiving celebrations.
3 symbols.
You have the cornucopia, also known as the horn of plenty, the turkey, and corn. All these symbols were viewed as very important among pagan societies. Let's
all
leave
3
a
of these
comment down
symbols
below
are viewed as important.
leave a comment down below.
Well, go back. I don't know what happened. No. You got to back the video up. Yeah, no, that's all good. It's all good. Go back one more. It's like in the middle, all the way. Keep going right there, right there. The symbols, Most High in Christ. So it said 3 specific symbols. Okay, and when your mama decides that she want to bring out the what is that? The tablecloth. You know, the festive tablecloth for Thanksgiving, the seasonal tablecloth. I guarantee you, it's going to have corn on it. It's going to have a damn turkey on it somewhere, and it's going to have that horn of plenty called the cornucopia. It's going to be on any of those, you know, the symbols for this Thanksgiving celebration. All right. And she just said that, you know, these pagan belief systems, you know, held true to these 3 symbols. All right. Press play. Just tap it. Sorry. You tore up.
There are 3 key symbols that are common to Thanksgiving celebrations. You have the cornucopia, also known as the horn of plenty, the turkey, and corn. All these symbols were viewed as very important among pagan societies. Let's begin with the cornucopia, which was an important symbol in ancient Greece and Rome. A cornucopia is a horned-shaped basket that is commonly filled with harvest fruits and vegetables. This symbol goes back to a story from ancient Greece where a goat pulled off his horn and offered it to the god Zeus. This was a magic horn that would refill indefinitely with food and drink, ensuring Zeus would never go hungry. To give thanks to the goat, Zeus made the goat's image in the sky, which became the constellation we now know as Capricorn. The cornucopia was also incorporated in statues.
Good night. The cornucopia. We looked at that horn of plenty and we looked at it like it was a good thing, like it was a benevolent thing, like it couldn't be associated with this type of wickedness, with this ancient evil. The cornucopia in itself, you know, it represents the horn of a beast, a mythical beast, a goat of all things. And you look at us because you say we got the star of Molech and all this craziness, and you celebrating Thanksgiving with a goddamn cornucopia in the middle of your dining room table. You don't even know what it represents. Who's the real fool? This is the value of coming into the Israelite School Universal Practical Knowledge under commanding General YAHANNA. Because before that, I didn't know nothing about no damn cornucopia. I wasn't looking. I didn't care to look. I just was there for the food. There to get high, get your buzz. Yeah, take that walk around the block. Everybody come back with their eyes real low. Eyes red as fire. And you're going to sit there and hold hands and try to figure out what the hell you're thankful for. Because Big Mama going to ask you, all right, Officer Zion. She ain't going to call you Zion. She's going to call you by your slave name. What are you thankful for? You got to figure out what the hell it is you've been thankful for all year. It's ridiculous, man. The things that we do.
It's a lot. You're gonna be like that, that nasty, filthy, disgusting pastor like on soul food. I don't thank the Lord for the legs under the table. I mean on the table. You know what he said?
Oh Lord, I missed that one. I might have to watch it again.
Soul food. The legs under the table.
Good night.
Just like old bastard. It showed the true nature of it.
Right.
Even in the movie, you understand?
That's why it's so funny.
And then Big Mama died behind what? She lost her life behind the very same thing that they was trying to figure out how to create another meal to celebrate her death when she died from what they was eating.
Good night. Big Mama died from them chitlins, from them hog maws, from that honey baked ham. I mean, you desecrating the yams, putting marshmallow on top of the yams. I mean, shout out to old girl. What's the girl from Destiny's Child? Yeah, yes, Lord. She was like, these are the things that don't go, I guess, that is wrong, because she don't know. She's ignorant. She don't understand that by celebrating Thanksgiving, she's going against, the celebration of our God or of our power. She's in the world, But she said something about the yams. You don't put damn marshmallows on those yams. When they start doing that, man, you just have to add sin to sin. You just have to. We don't eat marshmallows in here unless because of the gelatin in the marshmallow. All right, unless it comes from a lawful source. Like beef gelatin, then the marshmallow is lawful. But 10 times out of 10, knowing the oppressor, he's not trying to make beef gelatin, okay? He's going to go the cheap route because he don't give a damn about you. They don't even consider us human, okay? So, yeah, the cheapest route so we can make the most out of this, get the most yield on these marshmallows we create from this congealed pig fat that you put on top of the damn candy yams that you dressed with 10 pounds of sugar. Good night, man. And butter. Man, that's terrible. Anyhow, let's continue with the video. We're going to wrap this thing up here in just a few moments.
And money across ancient Rome, and was often used in representations of the goddess of grain, Ceres, and the goddess of luck, Fortuna. The cornucopia has even made an appearance in American currency. After all, the cultural identity of America is largely inspired by Greek and Roman culture and their systems of government. The next symbol I want to mention is the turkey, which is the centerpiece of the American Thanksgiving meal.
Right.
Many Native American tribes view the turkey as a symbol of fertility and abundance. As a totem animal, turkey reminds us of the importance of our relationship with the land, as the land is the source of our nourishment and sustenance. Turkey feathers are also...
The land is not the source for our nourishment and our sustenance. We depend upon the Most High Power. Right. He is the origin. He is the source, not the land. Okay. Because you think about Cain and how he was cursed. He was cursed because of his crime, because of his sin against slaughtering his brother Abel. Nothing grew for Cain. You know what I'm saying? So the Most High Power is that source. We don't pray to the earth. We don't pray to the elements. We don't pray to the sky for rain. We don't do an Indian rain dance. We don't do that in here. Okay? We turn and face the east, and we pray to the Most High Power, whose name is Yahweh, for the things that we need in our lives. We're not codependent upon creating our own deities like these other nations, like these heathens. They got it wrong. And we got it wrong because we follow them, because we envy them, because we choose every way of the oppressor, of these heathens that rule over us. All right? Keep playing the video. Salakia.
Viewed as especially important and are used in ritual wear and in smudging ceremonies.
Turkey festival.
So when we eat turkey at Thanksgiving, we are kind of celebrating the connection we have with the sacred land and animal spirits.
Good.
Lastly, corn is often used as a symbol to represent Thanksgiving. Corn, also called maize, was a key staple among the Native Americans, and it played an important role in their spiritual beliefs as well. In some tribes, corn itself was seen as a spirit, and it often played a role in ceremonies. Historically,
they say the corn was seen as a spirit. How dumb is that? What spirit? The spirit of the corn god? What the hell is that, man? It's corn. Apparently, they got spirits in everything. You know, that creates. It is very symbolic. It is very, very symbolic. You know, this symbolism, we got to pay attention to it. All right, just like a stop sign. You see that symbol. You see that octagon. You stop. Okay, we got to pay attention. You see that cornucopia? You need to just slowly back out of the house. All right, back out of the house, get in the car, and take you behind the Burger King. All right, or go to. I don't even want to. I'm not eating no kind of bird on Thanksgiving, just on the strength of not even wanting to be associated with this ancient pagan observance. I don't want to have no associations with this. No ties at all whatsoever. All right? Because it's all wicked, it's all evil. And the Most High Power acknowledges this. He acknowledges it as being disobedience, as being transgression of his law. All right? Let's keep playing the video. Salakia.
It is also believed that the Native Americans taught the Pilgrims how to grow and harvest corn, and without that knowledge, they would have probably never survived the harsh winters. One last thing comes to mind when I consider our modern Thanksgiving Day celebrations, and that is football. So why would something like football be connected to a harvest meal? Well, Celtic pagan harvest festivals usually included some type of sport or competition. For example, during the harvest festival called Lunasad, people would participate in the Taltian games, which included sports like archery, wrestling, and chariot racing. Another famous Celtic pagan harvest festival is Samhain, which historically was a time to gather the whole tribe together for feasting and athletic competition. So today in America, like the ancient Celts, we enjoy watching sports along with our harvest feast. Often they say history doesn't repeat, but it does rhyme. And that's how I view our modern American Thanksgiving traditions. Right. Thanksgiving touches something deep in our subconscious.
We can drop her, you know what I'm saying? You know, THAWADAH, whoever she is, for bringing out the truth about their customs, their very ancient pagan traditions, you know, for our learning, for our understanding, okay? And we're all the more wise because of, you know, her video. But we shouldn't embrace Thanksgiving with the same zeal that she has for wanting to celebrate Thanksgiving, because Thanksgiving, in all actuality, celebrates the slaughtering of our native Indian brothers and sisters, man, woman, and child, slaughtered at the hands of the oppressor. This is the reason why she is so giddy about wanting to celebrate Thanksgiving, because everything that she has, she got it from her ancestors doing evil deeds, unaliving the Native Indians. The house she lives in is upon the bones of the Native Indians. These treasure cities that we live in were built upon the bones of the Native Indians, the Native Americans, man. And blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, blacks and Hispanics especially, we gotta acknowledge what's happening to our people, to our brothers and sisters. Don't be worried about praying for goddamn Palestine or Israel. That ain't got nothing to do with what's happening to us in real time, what has happened to us since the beginning of civilization. We've always been outliers. We've always been the odd man out. Zephaniah 2:1 says that we are a nation that is not desired. What has changed? Nothing has changed. So blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians got to start desiring one another. And we do it by throwing Thanksgiving in the garbage. All right? Salakia. Let's go to Jeremiah 10. Let's knock that one out real quick. Yeah, the book of Jeremiah, chapter 10. Let's do verse 1. Let's keep it real simple.
It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 10 and verse 1. Hear ye the word which the Most High speaketh unto you, O house of Israel.
Here we go again. This is a recurring theme. If the children of Israel is the house of Israel, meaning the family of the Israelites. We talk about blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, not the Israelis, not Bibi Netanyahu and his people, not the Ashkenazis or the Khazarians, not those people. Those are another people. Those would be deemed the 13th tribe, according to Arthur Kessler, okay? We're talking about the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. That's who we are, okay? We need to hear the word that the Most High has spoken against or spoken unto us, because we are one family, one blood-related family, our house, all right? Keep reading.
God will come. Thus saith the Most High.
This is what the Lord said. This ain't what Bon Kayal said. I'm saying what the Most High Power said. All I'm doing is saying what the priests and prophets before me said. I'm saying what Commanding General YAHANNA said, what General Hyman said, what General Mayak says, what Captain I.S.U.P.K says, what Officer Zion Ya'ala says. And see, that's the way it goes. This ain't no damn grapevine effect, because we're getting it from the source. This is coming from the Most High Power. Nothing is being lost in translation, all right? So the Most High Power said what?
Thus saith the Most High, learn not the way of the heathen.
We are not supposed to learn the ways of the heathen. And we just had a heathen teach us about the ancient pagan origins of Thanksgiving. Straight out of a horse's mouth. She got up there and she eloquently, denoted what has transpired over the course of time. She just basically gave us a dissertation on her wicked nation and their ways. All right. We're not supposed to learn none of that. We was never supposed to learn about the cornucopia or eating turkey on Thanksgiving or the last Thursday in the month of November. That in itself is crazy. Why do we celebrate? Why does the heathen celebrate Thanksgiving on the last Thursday in the month of November? If you can, brother, pull up Thor over one, the other way. Left. Right there. Yeah, we'll share that briefly. Matter of fact, go over all the way to the right, Cool. All the way to the right, all the way. Click that one real quick. Yeah, that's even better. That's even better.
You wanted to spot right here?
Right there. Let me see. Yeah, right there. No, the autumn equinox, Mabon.
I see, right here.
Yeah, right there. Perfect. All right. So you can go back to you good. That's perfect. Go back to the page that we was on, the Thursday or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, read that real quick.
All right.
Thursday, Thor is the Norse god of thunder and lightning.
Right.
The thunder shakes the sky when Thor rides his chariot across it while chasing giants, and lightning lightens the sky when he throws his hammer. What the hell is this? Jolly, how you say it? Jolnir?
Yeah.
Jolnir. Oh, okay, his hammer.
Right.
Jolnir to kill the giants. As a protector of people, Thor, a tall, muscular, red-headed, and bearded man, was widely worshipped by the Norsemen. Some symbolic traditions were instituted into their culture in order to include Thor in their daily lives. These new traditions were naming the 5th day after him, celebrating weddings on that day, and wearing amulets in the shape of Thor's hammer for protection.
Right. So, today we are very familiar with Thor through the Marvel series. They got Chris Hemsworth, playing this ancient pagan deity of Thor. Okay. And he's a god to some people. To us, we don't give a damn about him. He's an idol. It's fake. It's false in the sight of the Israelites, in the sight of the priests and prophets. I wouldn't even allow my kids to watch this crap, knowing that, that is very wicked and evil for them to create, a series behind this ancient pagan deity. Now you got your kids wanting to dress up as Thor, and they want to, get Thor's hammer, and they start to believe in this mysticism and all this mythology, all this fake garbage, man. Who gives a damn about Thor when you got David who slew Goliath?
Right.
Who gives a damn about Thor when you have, what's my man with the long hair, the Nazarite? Samson. You had Samson, who's a real person that existed in during antiquity, man. But we want to give our energy into these false things, these fake made up things. So Thursday, everything about the oppressor's culture is made up and it's fake. The reason why they call Thursday is because it's Thor's day, and we're adding sin to sin because we're celebrating this very ancient pagan harvest festival on this Thursday during the month of Maban, or whatever it is, according to these ancient people, these heathens that still exist to this day. All right. Their descendants are living on the earth today, and they're continuing in this wicked and evil on the earth. The only people that are standing up against this wicked and evil are the priests and prophets and the Israelite School Universal Practical Knowledge. Right. Your pastor ain't standing up teaching you about this. He ain't telling you shouldn't have a Thanksgiving feast at your house. Don't go see Big Mama for Thanksgiving. We created cancel culture as Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. When are we going to start canceling the oppressor's culture? Right. When? Anyhow,
the last
in this article, it talks about Thor's Day, and during the month of November specifically, it was the month that was dedicated to the slaughtering of animals. Which brings me to the truth about Thanksgiving. They look at us as being less than human, white society. They've always looked at us as being less than human. They've equated us to cattle. This is the reason why our bondage in America, they call it chattel slavery, because we were likened unto the beast of burden, to a cow, or to a donkey, or to a horse. We had the same rights and liberties as those beasts of burden. And it's in their culture during that month for them to slaughter those beasts of burden. So you see where I'm connecting the dots here, drawing the parallels between their culture and what they actually did via history to the so-called Native Indian, okay? All right, so where we at? Yeah, drop that. Yeah, drop that. What's the next one? No, you can X out of her because she X out of those two. Both of them. X, X. Okay, this is another symbol. Let's get into this symbol, the wishbone. All right. We got a little bit of time. Yeah, share that. Share that. We talked about the turkey. We talked about the cornucopia. We talked about the corn. Let's talk about the wishbone, because that in itself is witchcraft. You wishing upon the bone of some fowl, man. Breaking the Thanksgiving wishbone. That's a tradition. You know, when you're a little kid, you probably seen a commercial. You know, we get introduced to these things by heathens. You know, whoever was responsible for creating that commercial, marketing that, you know, wishbone salad dressing. And now we see the wishbone, the breaking of the Thanksgiving wishbone. And if you can read that, Baba Kusha. You don't even have to enlarge it, pause.
History, breaking the Thanksgiving wishbone. Have you ever wondered why breaking the wishbone is a Thanksgiving tradition and where it originated?
Where did it come from?
It turns out the wishbone has a much more ancient origin than you might have guessed. And even though the tradition came to America via the Pilgrims at Plymouth Rock,
right,
it began thousands of years earlier in ancient Etruscan civilization.
Who are the Etruscans?
Let's read.
Who were they? Who were the Etruscans?
All right. The Etruscans were a civilization in ancient Italy.
Italians. Sound like Edomites to me. Sound like devils to me.
Yep.
Keep reading.
From at least 800 BCE, who practiced bird divination.
Practice what?
Bird divination.
Who were forbidden to not participate in divination. That's an abomination in the sight of the Lord. That goes against our laws, statutes, and commandments. That goes against the culture of God. Right. For us to practice bird divination. Keep reading.
Kanawakan, or using birds as oracles who were a source of predicting the future.
Now, how dumb do you have to be? They probably followed the dodo bird. You know, that's why they're not in existence today. Because they followed the damn dodo bird, which is extinct. And here we go following behind them, following behind the dumb behind dodo bird. Come on, man, make it make sense. It doesn't make any sense. And I'm the one that's illogical. We're the fools in the sight of society because we're telling you not to do this stupid nonsense. Keep reading.
Count on one time. They used live chickens who pecked at Etruscan letters on the ground to divine the answers to the questions about the future.
How stupid is that? That is the dumbest thing ever.
Yeah.
A chicken gonna do what a chicken gonna do, man. Keep reading.
And when chickens were killed, they would put the wishbone, officially known as the furcula, on the ground in the sun so the people could touch it and continue to use the chicken's oracle power even after its death.
So instead of us being the oracles of the Most High Power, these people believed in chickens. They put their faith and their trust and their hopes into chickens.
People would touch the bone. Pause. People would touch the bone and make a wish as they did, which is why we now commonly call it the wishbone.
Come on, man. Come on. This is a part of Thanksgiving. This is a part of that feast day, that feast celebration. It's a very ancient observance.
I remember as a kid for Thanksgiving trying to find that damn wishbone, man. It was like you found it. I found it a few times. I mean, this is Quatazar's kid. I don't know if he remembers, but
you and Quatazar.
Good night. I was peeling through the turkey pan trying to find. I found it. I was like, oh, okay, it's the wishbone right here. He just broke it, make a little stupid wish, right? Which I don't know how it even.
What did you wish for?
I can't even remember. It was probably
Some Jordans?
Nah, it probably was a damn. What's the wrestling things? The little wrestling ring or
Oh
something.
yeah, the WWF.
Yeah, it's like
Ultimate Warrior.
It's like 91.
Right.
So I don't know, but I remember getting the wishbone. I remember it was I saw where it was at, and I was like, oh, this is the wishbone they were talking about.
Right.
When we came to school, the teacher asked us, how many of y'all found the wishbone? And everybody said me. So I can find it, whatever. I remember that though.
Right.
Yeah, I remember that.
You wanted to wish for a weak wrestler. You always like the big boss man. Always do it. Always do it.
He was a pig.
Good night, man. And that's crazy. As innocent as we were, we participating in this. This is the occult here. This is satanic. Who?
I wish for tickets to SummerSlam. I remember that. That's
trying to go to SummerSlam.
Yeah, I wanted tickets to SummerSlam. Remember that. But go, yeah. I asked my attack that same year.
Good night.
Yeah, that's crazy. That wishbone thing is real, man.
What was the white wrestler that was talking that jive? Jason favorite wrestler.
Oh man.
Good night. I forget his name. Oh, that's terrible. Right. Not Ted DiBiase. No, we ain't talking about him. Slick. Yeah, with Slick and them. Go to the Romans. And we know about how the Romans oppressed, our people. Okay?
Yeah.
We know how the Romans, oppressed the Israelites via history.
Right. This is the breaking of the Thanksgiving wishbone, the Roman side.
Right.
The Romans absorbed some of the Etruscans' cultural traditions, including bird divination and using the wishbone as a source of granted wishes. Over time, instead of wishing on bones on the ground, the Romans would grapple over the wishbone and break it, with the victor being the person who broke the larger part of the bone. As the Romans traveled around the known world, they spread their culture and traditions, and when they reached the British Isles, the wishbone tradition caught on with the people living in Britain. The English colonists who came to America brought this tradition along with them.
The who?
The English colonists,
the so-called white man,
the
oppressor. The we call them colonizers for a reason. The colonists did what? Salakia.
The colonists who came to America brought this tradition along with them just in time to introduce it as part of the first Thanksgiving.
Damn.
Now, here we go in England. Or you want to read the United States or both?
No, you can keep reading.
Now, England. All right. Now, we are reading about.
No, skip England. We don't give a damn about that.
Breaking the Thanksgiving wishbone. That's the topic. That was good.
You can talk about England because we got brothers and sisters in England.
Right. So now it went from the Romans to England. England, the first record of wishbone being used in England as a means of divination happened in 1455. A goose wishbone called a merry thought was used to divine the weather on St. Martin's Day, which is a harvest celebration that falls in November, just like Thanksgiving.
Right.
Merry thoughts were sometimes broken between two single people, and the person who got the longer side of the bone was then predicted to be the one to get married first.
That's terrible.
In the United States, all right, in 1842, the merry thought was called a wishbone in an article in the Sun newspaper of Baltimore, Maryland, and is the first known mention of the word referring to the bone in the turkey.
Man, that's terrible. You shouldn't even be participating in Thanksgiving. Your mama asked you to go to a Thanksgiving feast or dinner, opt out. Say you got other plans. You've committed to another occasion or event, and there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, you might hurt your mom's feelings or whatever, but it's for the sake of the Most High. I'd rather hurt my mother's feelings and be on the side of righteousness, whereas to appeasing my mother and being at variance with the Most High power. I mean, you choose your battles, all right? All right. We're gonna drop that. We talked about the symbols, or the pagan symbols. Yeah, what's the next one?
Calendar.
Yeah, go to the calendar real quick. Yeah, this is perfect. This is what I want to talk about. We got to be brief because we're running out of time. But we talked about the months, right? We talked about the days of the week. All right. You know, Sunday is dedicated to the sun god. Monday is dedicated to the moon god, you know, yada, yada, yada. We get to Thursday. Thursday was dedicated to the so-called god, little g, of Thor. They put deity on this made-up being called Thor, you know, and he had a hammer and whatever. These are the gods of heathens. You know, Thor was the god of a Nordic people, primarily the Vikings. You know, when you think about who they worship, they didn't worship the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. They weren't focused on worshiping the God of Israel. They understand that the Lord didn't choose them. So they created their own gods to follow, created their own gods and idols to worship, creating their own customs and traditions. If you Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian, understand that we have our own separate set of customs and traditions. Right. If you can't give me Ecclesiasticus chapter 33, verse 7. Ecclesiasticus 33 and 7. All right. So it's real brief. I just wanted to talk about, go down, scroll down just a little bit. Yeah. Gormandor, which is a terrible name. Gormanador is the next full moon after the harvest moon. It symbolized the slaughter moon, okay? Animals that were not expected to survive the winters would be slaughtered and turned into preserves to feed the family during the winter months, okay? So it's November-ish, all right? During the November season. It's a slaughtering season, which is what was on the spirit of the oppressor when he came in contact with the Native Indian, who he deemed a savage, who he deemed less than human, who he equated to his cattle, okay?
You want the read the
drop
moves?
this. You can drop this and get to, I want to talk about the slaughtering of the Native Indian. No.
Blood history?
Yeah. No, we don't want to talk about slaughtering the Moors. That's something different. Okay. Drop that. What's that?
Blood history behind Thanksgiving?
No, that is more about the Moorish history. That'll be another class. X out of both of them.
These two?
Yeah, exit out of both of them. That one too. That one too. No, go into there. Go into the email inbox. Just hit it. Yeah. Mystic Massacre of the Pequot. There you go. Salakia, THAWADAH. All right. So, all right, the time check is 8:50. All right, let's talk about Ecclesiasticus chapter 33, verse 7. Okay.
Verse 7. Why doth one day excel another?
Right.
When as all the light of every day in the year is of the sun.
Yeah, why do we hold one day over another? You know, we follow the so-called oppressor every month. They have a day that they hold in high esteem, a day that they deem honorable, a day that they exalt as being better than the other days. You know, why do we do that? This is what you have to ask yourself. Why are you celebrating Thanksgiving? Why did they choose that day during that month to do whatever it is the celebration, you know, consists of? These are the questions you have to question it all. You have to, because it doesn't align with this Bible. All right. We have feast days and high holy days that we are supposed to keep. We were commanded to keep. All right. Keep reading.
Verse 8. By the knowledge of the Most High, they were distinguished.
Right. The days were extinguished by the knowledge of the Most High power, not by man, who wants to name every day after the gods that he created, because he was rejected by the Most High. Keep reading.
And he altered seasons and feasts.
The Most High power did that. I'd much rather follow the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob than to follow George Washington and Thomas Jefferson and James Madison and John Smith and the King of England. And Christopher Columbus. I much rather follow, the priests and prophets in the Israelite School Universal Practical Knowledge. I much rather follow the example that Christ set, Yahweh Shamashiach. He didn't keep Thanksgiving. He didn't celebrate his damn birthday. He didn't celebrate Christmas. Keep reading.
Verse 9. Some of them hath he made high days,
right,
and hallowed them,
right,
and some of them hath he made ordinary days.
So some of the high days, he hallowed them. He made them holy. He made them separate. He set those days apart from all the other days. Exodus 28 through 11. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy, which is every week we have a Sabbath service in here. And that Sabbath was for you. The Most High created the Sabbath for you. All right, that's your day. We also got what? The Feast of Hanukkah coming up. An 8-day celebration. And you're going to sell out for what? Christmas Eve and Christmas? And maybe New Year's? You got 8 days of feasting, 8 days of rededicating the temple. We're going to be beautifying this school. I can't wait to repaint these floors. Right. I can't wait to burn them damn candles on that menorah. It's going to be a beautiful thing. Every day we bring in another dish up in here. Right. You're going to get tired of feasting. I'm tired of feasting after day 2. Officer Zion, Sister Kalaya, Sister Arabah, Sister Nara, Sister Brittany, Sister Summer, bringing dishes every day. A different dish every damn day. Yes, also, how can I forget Sister Yakarab? The Isupk killer. How can I forget her? I never had a taco until, she brought the real tacos in here. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. We selling out for the sake of vanity, for the sake of false things, all right? This is what happened to the Native Indian. This is what happened to the Native Indian and why the so-called oppressor calls Thanksgiving. All right? Let's read this real quick.
Khan 1636, Mystic Massacre of the Pequot. John Mason and Captain John Underhill of the Massachusetts Bay Colony Militia launched a genocidal night attack on May 26th.
Sounds like the Proud Boys to me. It sounds just like the Proud Boys. The Proud Boys. It says they were a militia. This is the way of the so-called oppressor. He didn't attack during the daylight hours so everybody can see what's going on. It's a sneak attack. When people, what happens at night? People are asleep. He knew he couldn't face the Native Indian head on. This is the reason why the so-called paratroopers in the U.S. military jumped into Panama at night. This is the MO of the oppressor, to attack by night. Keep reading, Salakia.
The Bay of Salakia, a genocidal night attack on May 26th, along with Mohegan and Narragansett allies.
So these are two Native Indian tribes that were at variance with the Pequot. Okay, and we can't have that. We cannot have any type of opposition with respect to our family. Okay, if you are a Native Indian, if you're from the Narragansett and the Mohegans, we got to figure out some common ground. We got to figure out and recognize that we're family, that we're blood related, and we have one common enemy. This is that the enemy of my enemy is my friend. You see, this is playing out right now. Okay, this is ancient history here, but the division that the so-called oppressor created way back then still affects us today. All right, divide and conquer, as Captain Tazariak was talking about in that No Jumper interview. Check it out if you can. All right, keep reading.
Khan they attack a large Pequot village on the Mystic River, where over 700 men, women, and children of the Pequot tribe are gathered for their annual Green Corn Festival.
Google that. If you get the opportunity in your spare time, Google Green Corn Festival Massacre, okay? Make sure you put massacre in there because it actually happened, all right? You can read about some of the atrocities, some of the atrocious things that occurred during that, genocidal night attack. Keep reading.
Come on. In the pre-dawn hours, they are surrounded by English and Dutch mercenaries who order them to come outside, where they are shot or clubbed to death.
You got to come outside. We got you surrounded. What do you see the FBI doing? What do you see, the police departments do? They come and subdue you. Them no-knock warrants. They surround the premises, man. Come out with your hands up. You don't have a goddamn option. You don't have a choice. Either you're going to die or be unalive coming outside, or you'll be unalive and they're going to be kicking in the door, okay? They might drop an incendiary bomb on top of your crib like they did in Philly. What was it? Move or push, whatever it is? The move movement? Salakia. All right, keep reading.
You were shot, they are shot or clubbed to death. Those huddled inside the longhouse,
right,
mostly women and children, are burned alive.
No mercy. He has no compassion, no empathy. We would never deal with his children, with his women that way. He didn't give a damn about burning them alive. That's one of the worst ways you can be unalive, just be by being burned alive. You die from the smoke inhalation. I'm talking about babies. Can you imagine that? And you're powerless. You're powerless because we wanted to join with the so-called the colonists, because we wanted to embrace their customs, their traditions, instead of embracing our own. Keep reading.
Khan. Troops use dogs to hunt down survivors, to carry out tortures and executions, or send into slavery.
You wonder why the so-called, Negroes don't like dogs, because this is our history. This is our history of dealing with canines, man. Them being sick on us. You want to see a good depiction of that is the movie Django Unchained. How they had them dogs that released them hounds and they unalived that brother, man. This ain't an old thing. This is what's been happening to our people. All right, keep reading.
Come. The day after the massacre, the governor of Massachusetts Bay Colony declares a day of Thanksgiving.
A day of what?
Thanksgiving.
Not a day of mourning, but a day of what?
A day of Thanksgiving, thanking God that they had eliminated over 700 men, women, and children.
Good night.
Oxidine and Bradford.
Good night. Goddamn America, man. Goddamn the so-called oppressor. Goddamn white society. Goddamn Thanksgiving. If you Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian, you cannot afford to celebrate Thanksgiving, man, because they're glorying in the slaughtering of our Native Indian brothers and sisters. And this is just the beginning. We're not even talking about all of the treaties that the so-called oppressor broke with the Native Indians. We talk about the Indian Wars. You can Google it. They're not ashamed of what they've done to us. They are not at all. They take pride in it. They take pride in their 4th of July. They take pride in their Thanksgiving celebration. They take pride in their Memorial Day, because they're destroying God's chosen people, man. All right. Give me the book of Revelation 18:4. You know what? No, give me Acts 17:30. Let's do Acts 17:30. Yeah, I like that one a little bit better.
It's the book of Acts, chapter 17 and verse 30. And the times of his slacking, and the times of this ignorance, the Most High winked at.
So the time for us being ignorant, celebrating Thanksgiving, the Most High winked at that, okay? He winked at us, when we didn't understand the pagan origin of this celebration. The Most High winked at that because we were ignorant. We didn't know. We didn't know. It was what was taught to us when we were children. It's what our mamas and our grandparents and our aunties and uncles gave us because they didn't know. They were ignorant, all right? But now if you was tuned in this class, you know damn better. You know. Keep reading.
Khan. But now commandeth all men everywhere to repent.
To do what?
Repent.
To repent. You got to turn away from Thanksgiving. The Most High Power will hold you accountable for celebrating these pagan deities. Right. You celebrating Thor, and you celebrating Zeus, and you're celebrating Ceres and all these other fake deities, man. There is no life in those things. If you're Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, you got to give back to serving the Most High Power, the God of our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And the only place on earth where you will learn to keep God's laws, statutes, commandments are within the schools of the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, man, under commanding General YAHANNA. That's my time. We're going to bring up the next, the powerful priest and prophet, Kawal Ban YAHAWADAH, to read the announcements. Salakia.
Yeah, right.
Messiah Christ.
All right. I.S.U.P.K. security announcements. We are the I.S.U.P.K. started on 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under command of YAHANNA. New rule for brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes to the school, they are off limits for 6 months.
Right.
They are to be saluted only. They are here to share themselves with the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You can find this in Numbers 18:21, Malachi 3:8-10. Means 10th in Hebrew and is pronounced by Asherah. 10% of every penny of any increase the Most High gives you, give to the Treasury Department or a teacher.
Right.
Priest fund. This is a free will offer for priests. It's not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations. We got Hanukkah, December 7th. All right. You can find this in Maccabees 4:52-61. We also have the Passover coming up. All right. April 20th, Durham, North Carolina.
Right.
April 20th, Durham, North Carolina. Go to www.isupk.com. Pay your Passover fee. It's $200 for adults. Children get in free under the age of 18. Pay a Passover fee, all right? Also, too, big shout out to Houston, Texas. They got a cookout coming up this week also. I think the 24th through the 28th or something like that. You want arrangements, contact your camp leader about the Passover and the cookout, all right? And the Feast of Hanukkah coming up. We got a lot of stuff going on I.S.U.P.K. Y'all stay locked in, all right? Also, too, check out Commander YAHANNA's America on Fire tonight. It's Monday night. Y'all know how we get down.
Right.
Everybody should, as soon as you go in, hit the thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe. Let's push these truth throughout the earth, all right? Also, too, if anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black, boots, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf with that Imadium. Men of Israel, we're going to render one courtesy salute to the teacher. Men of Israel, Bible Shabbat, Imadium, Barak. Yajmatah, Sar, turn face sisters. Men of Israel, we can render one courtesy salute to the sisters. Men of Israel, Bible Shabbat, Imadium, Barak. Yajmatah, class is dismissed.